Have you ever wondered how Hawaii, with its unique culture and distant location, became a state of the United States? Let's take a journey back in time to the origins of the Hawaiian Islands. Born from the fiery belly of the earth, these islands emerged from the Pacific Ocean, a result of volcanic activity beneath the sea's surface. Their isolation made them a unique habitat, teeming with species found nowhere else on the planet. But this isolation wouldn't last forever. Around 1,500 years ago, a daring group of seafarers set sail from the distant shores of Polynesia. Guided by the stars, the winds, and the currents, these early explorers journeyed across the vast Pacific, eventually landing on the Hawaiian Islands. These Polynesian settlers, with their rich traditions and sophisticated navigational skills, were the first to call Hawaii home. Over centuries, a vibrant culture blossomed on the islands, with a complex social system and an oral tradition that preserved stories of gods, heroes, and voyages. From this society, a unified Hawaiian kingdom emerged in the early 19th century, under the rule of King Kamehameha the Great. But the growth of the kingdom was not happening in isolation. The early 19th century was a time of exploration, colonialism, and global trade. Western powers, including the United States, were expanding their reach across the globe, and Hawaii was no exception. American missionaries and traders made their way to the islands. They brought with them their religion, their language, and their customs, forever altering the cultural landscape of Hawaii. By the mid-19th century, the Hawaiian kingdom had established diplomatic relationships with these Western powers. Hawaii was no longer an isolated group of islands, but a player on the global stage, a pivotal location for trade between the East and the West. Yet the kingdom's interaction with the West was not without its challenges. The balance of power was about to shift, and the future of Hawaii was about to take an unexpected turn. By the mid-19th century, Hawaii had become a pivotal location for global trade, but its future was about to take an unexpected turn. As the 19th century progressed, the influence of the United States in Hawaii began to grow significantly. The islands became a hotspot for American settlers, attracted by the tropical climate, fertile soil, and strategic location in the Pacific. The Hawaiian population, however, began to shrink due to diseases brought by foreigners, creating a labor shortage that was filled by immigrant workers. A key turning point was the boom of the sugar industry. Sugarcane plantations sprang up across the islands, fueled by the insatiable American sweet tooth. These plantations were owned primarily by American settlers who, driven by profit, sought closer ties with their homeland. This led to the Reciprocity Treaty of 1875, a trade agreement that allowed Hawaiian sugar to enter the U.S. market duty-free. In return, the U.S. received exclusive rights to develop Pearl Harbor, a move that firmly entrenched the U.S. military presence in the Pacific. But the American influence didn't stop at business or military affairs. It extended to the very fabric of Hawaiian governance. In 1887, under the pressure from a group of white businessmen and lawyers, King Kalakaua was forced to sign the Bayonet Constitution. Named for the intimidating presence of armed militia during its signing, this document drastically limited the power of the Hawaiian monarchy, increased the voting power of the white minority, and set a property and income requirement for voting, effectively disenfranchising many native Hawaiians and Asian immigrants. With the monarchy weakened, and the American settlers firmly entrenched in the economic and political life of the islands, Hawaii was on a precipice. The native Hawaiians, who had lived on these islands for centuries, watched as their land, their resources, and their power were increasingly controlled by outsiders. Yet they would not give up without a fight. With the monarchy weakened, the stage was set for a dramatic shift in power. The next few years would see a struggle for control, a clash of cultures, and the eventual annexation of Hawaii by the United States. But that, dear listeners, is a story for another scene. In 1893, the fate of Hawaii was forever changed by a group of American businessmen and sugar planters. The Hawaiian Kingdom, once a flourishing independent nation under the rule of Queen Liliuokalani, was about to experience a seismic shift in power. Queen Liliuokalani, the last reigning monarch of the Hawaiian Islands, was a fiercely determined woman who sought to restore the power of the monarchy and the native Hawaiians. However, her reign was cut short by a group of American businessmen and sugar planters who had their eyes set on the prosperous sugar industry and coveted the strategic location of Hawaii. These influential men, backed by the U.S. Minister John L. Stevens, orchestrated a coup to overthrow the Queen. Under the guise of ensuring the safety of American lives and property, Stevens ordered the landing of U.S. Marines from the USS Boston. The presence of these armed forces tipped the scales in favor of the conspirators, leading to the eventual overthrow of the Queen. On January 17, 1893, Queen Liliuokalani was forced to yield her authority to the United States government, rather than risk bloodshed of her people. Yet, she did so under protest, stating her fervent hope that justice would eventually be done. Following the overthrow, a provisional government was established, headed by Sanford B. Dole, a lawyer and jurist in the Hawaiian Islands. Despite the Queen's protests and numerous petitions from the native Hawaiians, the provisional government pushed forward with their plans, seeking annexation to the United States. The role of the U.S. government in this overthrow has been a subject of controversy. While the U.S. minister was complicit, President Grover Cleveland was against the annexation, calling it an act of wrongdoing against a peaceful and friendly nation. However, his successor, President William McKinley, had other ideas and favored the annexation. Despite protests from the Queen and native Hawaiians, Hawaii was on the path to becoming a U.S. territory. The annexation of Hawaii marked the end of a proud, independent kingdom and the beginning of a new chapter in its history as part of the United States. In 1898, amidst the backdrop of the Spanish-American War, Hawaii's status changed once again. From a sovereign kingdom, it was annexed by the United States, the catalyst being the war that was raging thousands of miles away. Hawaii's strategic location in the Pacific made it a valuable asset, a stepping stone to the Asian markets and a crucial naval base for the U.S. In the wake of annexation, significant changes swept over the islands. The American influence seeped into every aspect of Hawaiian life. The language, the education system, the economy, everything underwent transformation. One notable shift was the growth of the pineapple industry, led by companies like Dole. These tropical fruits became a symbol of Hawaii, their sweet taste a reminder of the island's fertile lands. It's fascinating, isn't it? The ripple effects of global politics, reaching even the most remote of islands. For the next 6 decades, Hawaii would remain a U.S. territory. Finally, in the mid-20th century, the long journey to statehood reached its conclusion. The statehood movement gained momentum post-World War II, as the strategic importance of Hawaii on the global stage was recognized. The push for statehood was not without opposition, but the advocates were steadfast. In 1959, a key turning point arrived. A referendum was held, and the people of Hawaii overwhelmingly voted in favor of joining the Union. The U.S. Congress swiftly responded, and on August 21st, Hawaii was officially admitted as the 50th state. Statehood brought significant changes to Hawaii. Economically, it led to an upsurge in tourism, transforming the islands into a world-renowned vacation destination. Culturally, it amplified the unique Hawaiian heritage while also blending in American influences. So that's the journey of how Hawaii, the Aloha state, became a part of the United States. A tale of kingdoms, coups, and statehood all set in the heart of the Pacific.